Well, I think the most compelling macro bet out there, which it's been my view maybe for a long time, is this, kind of migration inside of the United States. And I think that it's, specifically coming to Texas, Florida, maybe some other places. And obviously there are a lot of things that, hurdles, but for instance, the talent pool in California versus here. But I mean, I live in Fort Worth, which it would shock most people to know that Fort Worth is now the 10th largest city in the United States. And
people still think of it as a small cow town.
Yeah. And it is, there's not a huge amount of industry here, but the amount that I've just witnessed of kind of human and, financial capital moving here, and the business environment is, pretty dramatic, it's massively more friendly than a lot of other jurisdictions. And I kind of think we've sort of set off like a little bit of a feedback loop of migration coming here, and not just to Fort Worth, although I think Fort Worth is the optimal place for a lot of this capital to come. It already has, quite a bit of wealth, and you have some. I guess Fort Worth is probably like the largest city in the country without a major research institution located there. That's changing dramatically here with Texas A&M is building out. They're building out a gigantic campus actually in downtown Fort Worth. Texas A&M is probably the largest university in the world. It's not in a major metropolitan area. I think it's the second or so largest school in the country right now. And so, like, for instance, A&M wants to build a Kendall Square in downtown Fort Worth where they can help accelerate, companies. Spending $700 million just building out their campus over the next 4 years. UT Arlington is now setting up a new campus for 8,000 engineers just in West Fort Worth. And I think the kind of ecosystem is being built here. Obviously, that ecosystem exists in Austin. It exists to some extent in Dallas as well. And so, just from this gigantic migration, I think there are just so many different ways to play it, whether it's through real estate. You have a lot of real estate here in Texas and Fort Worth.
I mean, how does it work with commercial real estate? Because you're fighting another trend there as well. So there may be university real estate that's required, but even that's not clear over time whether in a more digital world, how much that's needed. How do you think that through versus, obviously, if people are moving there, there's obviously just housing. I mean, that's another big thing. How do you think about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, just to be clear, like my experience in commercial real estate is I simply own the building that my office is in.
And it's a great building. I love your office. Yours is the coolest office in the world. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
It is good. It is very good. And that's something you can actually get in Fort Worth. I mean, can you imagine having, something like this in Dallas or LA or something? You just, you can't do that. Fort Worth does have a lot of, I mean, it's sparsely populated. It's a gigantic city and with lots of, kind of potential for urban infill. But I think that the idea, like for A&M, it's not that spending $700 million building out a campus, it's that they envision this as, holding maybe some of their most important intellectual property, some of their, attracting kind of top, academics and attracting kind of top, companies who can partner with them on R&D or can partner with them on, finding capital to build manufacturing or whatever it is. And A&M can actually kind of program the school around, those sort of opportunities, this corporate collaboration opportunities. So I think that's their idea. In terms of like commercial real estate, I mean, obviously it's been overbuilt in a lot of places. Austin and Dallas are two, very obvious ones. Hasn't happened in Fort Worth necessarily, much lower, vacancy rates here. But I don't know. I mean, it's not the angle that I'm,
So what is your angle then?
Well, I mean,
because what you're saying to me in typical Mark terms is I've seen a secular trend that's starting. People haven't seen it yet. It's going to have spin off lots of opportunity. mean, this is very typical of you. You'll come in with something, everyone goes, what's he talking about? They'll realize in 5 or 7 years' time what you were talking about, because you're always ahead on this stuff. So, yeah, how do you play this?
Well, I think that there's just a gigantic arbitrage for any company to move to Texas. There's no income tax here. There's no capital gains tax. Texas, $2 cheaper for a gallon of gasoline than it is, California. It's the business environment is tremendous. So literally just a corporation moving and picking on California, it may have the worst governance of any of the states in my mind. So, picking on California a little bit, that's also where, some of the greatest companies are. The arbitrage in terms of, the quality of life arbitrage for employees, the cost of living arbitrage for employees, the cost of doing business for the companies is gigantic. So, I really spend a lot of my time trying to convince portfolio companies that I'm
okay. See, what you're saying is companies in your portfolio, your private companies, you're saying, listen, come here because it's going to make a dramatic difference to the potential outcome of the company.
Right. Absolutely. And there are huge incentives, government incentives and local incentives as well to come here. I think this is like, if I were, trying to say, I'm not like, I do make venture investments. I'm not part of a venture fund, and I'm not really looking to become like some venture capitalist or anything. But it does seem like if you're starting in venture, kind of the way it's done is there's sort of a model for each round and how the VCs come in and how they they want to see certain things, they want to see certain growth, certain metrics, and it's kind of a moving business where you fund a company, you get to the next round, you get hopefully liquidity, you raise a new fund, you find new companies, and to me the opportunity is like finding companies and helping sort of negotiate some of the macro risks, supply chain risks that may come up, and figuring out how they can kind of become much more efficient and more prosperous. So I think like facilitating sort of instead of I guess I would just say, I think, helping facilitate those types of moves, there's just a gigantic opportunities.
We hope you enjoyed the video. At Real Vision, we help you understand the complex world of finance, business, and the global economy with in-depth analysis from real experts. Join the revolution at realvision.com.